welcome to another episode of Conversations with Daron Jenkins. Guess what? I'm Daron Jenkins. And joining me on the show today, I'm sorry, I'm so tired right now, so I'm doing all kinds of crazy things. Joining me on the show today, actress Camilla Borghesani, whose most recent screen credits include The Trek and Virginia Woolf's Night and Day, in which she plays Cassandra Otway alongside Haley Bennett and Jack Whitehall. Thank you for being on the podcast. I'm actually very excited.
Me too.
We were just talking a little bit about, podcasts are like the new talk show things. And, on here, we really just chop it up. We're all family on these, because we're all trying to make good content. And you've been making a lot of good content recently. Do you sleep?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I sleep a lot and I have to catch up. Yeah, I just feel like there's been a lot of momentum recently. It just kind of all came out at the same time. So it was pretty gradual. But yeah, it's been a really pleasant June. So just kind of, yeah, getting used to it.
Yeah, we forget that like you can shoot a film now and not it won't come out for like 4 years later, but
Exactly.
they'll all come out at the same time, so it's a good problem to have,
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to start at the beginning kind of to see when did you decide, like, what initially inspired you to pursue a career in acting?
I can think of I think I had several things that happened to me throughout my life. I did start my parents would take me to the theater with them. So it all like I was, 4 or 5 years old already going to see plays and ballets and where they just wouldn't leave me at home. So I remember seeing I wrote about this recently. I saw a production of The Seagull, and it was like a 5 hour production.
Wow.
And yeah, I grew up in Moscow, Russia, and I just remember watching it and loving it and not understanding anything, but just being really captivated. So I think that's it. It sparked an interest, and I just really loved going with my parents and watching everything that I could. And then I would just start telling people, like I was in second grade and I just started making up stories. And during snack time, I would just make up these elaborate stories and really get a kick out of people listening to all these lies that I had to say and believing it. It's really great.
A
And
lot. Wow.
all the time.
Takes a
Um,
dark turn there for a second.
Um, yeah, so I think I was just kind of exploring myself, and I did ballet for a bit, which I loved, and I think that was like my first time being on stage and just interacting with an audience. And I just caught this bug and started to explore myself like in musical theater, and then eventually I decided to pursue acting, and then I went to the St. Petersburg Theater Academy. I wanted to study in Russia. So yeah, that's kind of
Wow.
how yeah started.
It's, that's an, how old were you the first time you went to, like, I guess you were, what, 15 or so when you were going to school for acting, or was it older?
So I went to there were these so the Moscow Art Theater School has these courses before you actually go to university there, and they prepare you to audition for different well, I mean, not just to audition, but they kind of give you a glimpse of what it's going to be like, the training. So I got in there when I was 16 years old, and I did that for a year, and it was just like for the weekends. And I think that that's what introduced me to what it was gonna be like, and made me want to, seriously pursue this path. And then I went on to audition in Moscow and St. Petersburg, and then I ended up going to the theater academy in St. Petersburg.
You know, the one thing I noticed as I interview, like I've interviewed a fair amount of people, both from the U.S. and outside the U.S. as actors, and the one thing, and I noticed this in Asia, like in like South Korea, this happens, Japan to some degree. Um, the level of training for young kids is so much more thorough, I guess, if that's a good word to put.
Yeah,
Like it's a different, like a different animal.
definitely. Yeah. It's I don't know. Looking back and just looking at my training in general, I think it might sometimes be a little bit too much, or it really just depends on the person, whether or not it's going to resonate with them and whether that's going to work for their career going forward. I feel like I really got what I wanted from the training, um, but I'm happy to, you know, explore other classes really, or
Mm,
just ways of approaching the craft. I think that it sometimes put me a little bit too much in my head. Um,
mm.
yeah, but again, it's super
Because
individual.
you're really there's a lot of technical
Hmm.
to it for your, I would assume.
Yeah.
And like so for me it was completely opposite. Like as an actor, I started really late because
Hmm.
my family were like, that's not a job. Um, and I started just picking up. I would go to different improv classes here and there. I would go to like stand up shows to watch some of the guys perform. And then it wasn't until I literally was, I think I was 45 when I joined the Upright Citizens Brigade as a formal, like formalizing the actual training. And it was hilarious because everybody in the class was so much younger than me.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, "Because, you know, I want to get some training." Yeah,
I love it. I
yeah.
actually went there recently.
Uh,
I did. I mean, but that was like for me, that was such a shock to the system. I was so terrified because
yes,
of my previous training. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? It's
yes.
just, yeah, it was
I,
very,
I
very
sweat a
different.
lot that day, that first day. I sweat a
Yeah,
lot. I was
yeah,
like, this, it was like, all right, get up there and do this. And I'm like, oh, I could learn from just sitting here in the back. I'm good.
exactly. My thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
What's,
sorry, what?
what's, so like, I mean, now these, like, as you're getting further, like, into your career, um, does it, are you still kind of like, are you still actively training, like going to different school, or like I always ask this question because I love to know, like, I actors are kind of like athletes in a lot of ways. And
Yeah,
once you've made, like as a basketball player, you made it to the NBA, there are two types of athletes that ends up happening. There's the ones who say, I'm here and I don't have to work it hard anymore.
yeah,
And then there's the other ones who go, I'm here, I have to work even harder than I worked ever before. And
yeah.
I wonder if that's the same as for actors.
They actually tell you in the first year of training that, once you, uh, when you get accepted uh, into a program, everyone thinks that they know everything, and then they
Mm,
graduate not knowing anything. Well, because you just realize that it's a never-ending process, and you always have to um, find new approaches to whatever you're doing, and you always have to practice. So
Mm,
I definitely firmly believe that. And since I moved to LA, I was going to all sorts of studios, and I feel like anything that was the most out of my comfort zone would be the best decision for me. Just going back to UCB, like that was
mm,
like the best gift I gave to myself. I really think that was such a smart move to just stop thinking really and go back to my intuition and my instincts really, and yeah, your brain just starts to work differently. So
yeah, yeah. There's a quote by Michael Jordan who kind of says something like, and I'm paraphrasing this, kind of like if you don't play loose, um, you can never get to the level that you're trying to be at.
100%.
And I feel like that's true for actors too. Like you've got to like Jim Carrey is one of my favorite actors, and one of the reasons why is because sometimes to the detriment of the director, who knows? I don't know. But he improvises a lot of stuff and he just lets it go. He's in it and he's just letting it go. And I'm like, some of the best things he's ever done are the things where they're like, oh, just let him do what he does.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to be that dude.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. When you're, so you've done theater. Have you done television as of yet? Are you doing television? And
Just
if
just a bit, not
yeah,
much. Yeah.
okay. So when you're transitioning between the world of because theater is so different. Like I'm terrified of theater. I've been offered probably 3 or 4 roles which I turned down because I was like, no, 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 you're not getting me up there. No, no, no. And I regret it because there like once it's such a beautiful piece of art
Yeah.
because as you're like it's this puzzle you're putting together live in front of an audience, and when it's all working perfectly it's a beautiful thing to kind of see. And I wish I had the guts to kind of get up there and do it, but I always wonder, like when you're kind of transitioning from theater into television and back and forth, what kind of challenges does that present you, as an actress?
Um, well, it depends. Like, I've spoken to some of my friends who I either worked in the theater with, or, we worked in different companies, and they would, like, their problem was adjusting to the camera and bringing their reactions down because we're so used to,
Yeah,
physicality
it's
and the voice and
big,
everything.
and you got to reach everybody in the back
Yeah.
row, and yeah,
So that's a very common struggle that we would discuss. But for me, it wasn't that. It was just knowing that half of the things that I'm doing aren't gonna be in the film, and that's just not up to me.
yeah,
And I think it was just surrendering to the process and uh, trusting that they're gonna choose the right takes for this story rather than in the theater you basically it's all on the actors pretty much at the end, where
yeah,
every single night is really carried on the actors, and a lot also is the audience, but I just feel like that was the main struggle for me, was to just release that I guess fear of something not making the final cut.
yeah. It's I never even thought about it in that way because I think because I was an actor in film first before I was.
Hmm.
Like I said, I've never done theater, so I don't have anything to compare it to. But we're always like when you start out in film, you just assume that half the stuff you're going to do is never going to make it to the screen. You just go,
Yeah.
I'm just like in the heartbreak isn't like I was talking to an actor friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about this whole thing where you do like you do a scene and it's you like cut and you're like, oh yeah, crush this, and then you see the final piece and it's not in the film, and you're like, what the hell, man? I think that's just like, okay,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, definitely.
um, what challenge, like what, um, can you recall a particularly challenging scene that pushed you to do something acting skills wise, your ability wise, to kind of push you past a place that you thought you were going to actually get to?
I actually haven't thought about this in a while. I think that there were, um, I think I can recall things in auditions
Hmm. Yeah.
more, that were very challenging. I think that my main challenge, just looking back at films that I've done, were skills. For example, like being for like I had this one film where I had to speak Georgian, and then I had another film where I spoke German right after, and at the time that was a huge challenge for me, whereas now I just view it as something that I've overcome, and wow, I can now do this. I uh, proven to myself that I'm capable of just speaking a foreign language and still just having my thought come across and believing what I'm saying and still being in it. So I think like that was a huge obstacle, well, what I thought was an obstacle for
Right.
me at the time, but so it was interesting to explore that, and I just, again, like going back to your comfort zone, anytime that I do something that I think I might not be able to handle, just it's exciting to learn that you just have to trust yourself and give it a shot, and you might discover a hidden talent that you never knew you had.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. I
yeah.
didn't know I could ride that horse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's the old. I, I, I don't know though. Do actors still do this? Like, do they still pad their resumes with skills and stuff that you know at the very most they've maybe seen it done. They've never actually done it.
Yeah, we did do that.
No, they still do it. Okay, because I just want I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure on my resume there's stuff on there that I'm just like, if I look back at it, I'm like, who am I kidding? I'm not a
Yeah.
surgeon. I know nothing about tennis. That's on my that's on my I put that I could play tennis because it was a role that I wanted to go for this commercial, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I could play tennis. I can't
Mhm.
play tennis.
Yeah.
I look like an idiot.
No, I also feel like tennis is one of those things that looks a lot easier than it actually is. And I think
Yeah,
I also put it on my resume. And then one day I decided to go and play and realized
and you're
I
like, nope.
really shouldn't be there. So yeah,
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 and
it,
now they've created a whole new sport that's based on tennis, pickleball, and I'm just
hmm
like, seriously, like, are you trying to make me look like I'm crazy or something? I'm putting it on my resume though.
yeah, for sure. Me too.
Okay. Um, so you mentioned how many languages do you actually speak?
I'm bilingual in English and Russian because my mom's Russian, my dad's American.
Okay.
Uh, but I'm somewhat conversational in French because I studied it in school, and then I learned, like, basic German, but I went more in depth for a film, and then some Georgian, like a little bit of Italian. Just here and there. I feel like the more I would learn, it's just easier to pick them up. Um, but I'm only fluent in two. So yeah.
Okay. my like I had this job one time that was it was the worst job. It was the worst job ever. My job was basically for like when people like download phone games onto their phone. If you have like a problem with it or something, you can call this line, and me will be on there to help you out. Problem was with this is that I was the operator for the international. So I dealt with Germany, Africa, Asia.
Hmm.
I don't speak German. I don't speak African. I don't speak. I was, and so it was this hilarious thing. I wish I had a phone, like camera at the time, because it was this hilarious thing where I would have to have like these just complicated conversations with
Hmm.
people in German, and I didn't understand a word they were saying. I know Sprechen Sie Deutsch. That's all I know. It was
Yeah.
quite confusing.
Yeah, it's a really hard language.
Yeah. My father knew German, so every now and then in the house, he would say something to me in German until I understood what he was trying to say. I was 9.
Wow.
And, I didn't think I was going to have use of German in Newark, New Jersey.
Right.
So, you know, um, do you have any pre-performance rituals or routines or things to kind of help you get into your characters?
It depends on the character. I think that like there was one character recently I did, and I realized that I start to journal basically, and then sometimes it's not going too well, so I'm like, okay, we need to change the approach, and I start to explore other things, like I can do the start doing the makeup, or start putting on certain clothes, or start making a mood board, or sometimes it goes to animal work where
Hmm,
I realize that the person's kind of like a snake, for example, and then I try to embody that physicality and see if that resonates with the text, or how I feel in this character. So it really just depends on what I'm working on.
interesting.
Yeah.
I, have you done, have you had any much activity in the voiceover experience?
Yes, I actually that was my first job when I moved to LA. It's called what's it called? Wow, now I forgot. It won Tribeca. The yeah, the worst thing that could possibly happen, and
Uh,
it was, well, I speak there with a Russian accent, so that's why they took me, and that was a lot of fun. And I've done some voice work back in Russia, but I'd like to get more into that. I really enjoyed it, but that's like a
yeah,
separate profession. That's like,
yeah.
yeah.
But you have
Um,
a good voice. You have a great voice for. That's why I was asking because I'm listening
Thank
to
you.
you. I'm like, you should be doing voiceover for sure.
You. Yeah, I'll start soon.
Well, just so you understand the power of this show, we have this show is very lucky for a lot of actors and producers and directors. I speak people in. Was it last year or a year? Maybe it was last year. I interviewed the cast of this film, Silent River, and
Hmm.
one of the actors on there, Amy, saying, "Hi, Amy." Uh, she came onto the podcast separately, and we were talking, and I asked her the question, which I'm going to probably ask you down the road in this conversation we're doing here. I asked her what would be a dream role that she could, like, if she could make a role, what would she want to do? And
Hmm.
she said anything as long as it has to do with Marvel or Star Wars. I was like, all right. I was like, well, you never know. I mean, when you're on here, speak it into the universe and it
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
6 months later, she's cast in the Star Wars TV show, the uh, Ahsoka. And I was
Wow.
just like, Well, I've done my work,
Yeah, definitely.
you know. We've had a couple people win some awards on here. So, you know, Oscars, uh, Peabodys, you
Okay.
know,
To know.
I don't want to brag, but we have a lot of, we like to give our guests lots of good karma. So,
Thank you.
so I'll speak that into the universe for you. What, so uh, I want to talk a little bit about um, this movie. I saw the trailer for it. It looks really funny. It look like it has a like I like Virginia Woolf. I'm a weird dude. I like classic literature. Um, what was what was the process of you getting involved in this project, first of all? And you know, tell me how did you have to audition? Like how did that all happen?
Yeah, no, of course. I knew Justine Waddell from like before she saw me in another film, and when I met her, there she said a lot of good things, and eventually, we started talking, and she said that she saw me for in this role, and yeah, I feel like the way that it was written and then us working together, it was very easy when someone actually kind of envisions you in a part. It's a lot easier to, you know, start um, to work on that and make it come to life. So, yeah, yeah, I just got very lucky.
What's so Cassandra Otway.
I'm so sorry, my dog just ran in here.
It's okay. We're dog friendly. We have people bring their dogs on our podcast all the time.
I'm so sorry.
Your dog has something important to say.
Okay. Okay, goodbye. Um, yeah,
What
so
kind of dog?
it was a Chihuahua. He's looking for the other dog because they have to, yeah, yeah, to go on their walk. Yeah.
I
Sorry, what were
should. I was going to ask you about your character, Cassandra Otway.
you?
Um, what kind of person is this, and how did you go about staying true to her character, to this character?
Well, I read about her. I really, as soon as I read about her description, I decided that I shouldn't get too in my head about who this person is because she just has this certain rhythm and she really flirts with life. And I started to try to embody that. And um, I would kind of journal, but not really. Uh, and then it really all came like I was very nervous because it is Virginia Woolf, and I feel like
Mm.
whenever you're working on material, I love Virginia Woolf, and it was there's just a certain amount of, I don't know, it's like this expectation. I know that people are gonna be watching it who love her a lot, and they're expecting to see some sort of accuracy, or I feel like people aren't usually happy with adaptations
All
based
right,
on literature. Like they're not satisfied because they
right.
have their own vision of what it's supposed to be like, and I totally get that. So I just started to try and think a lot less and just enjoy life and be grateful for a lot more things. So it really did impact the way that I was moving about. And also I worked with the costume was really uh, very helpful too. Esther Waltz was our costume designer,
Mm.
and she really like she knew who Cassandra was, and it just instantly clicked for the both of us, and it really really helps to create that character. And yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot that I could say. I'm just kind of brainstorming right now and remembering how I was creating her. So yeah.
Doing period pieces are I've always found interesting, because like you said, the wardrobe helps to kind of put you in that frame of mind,
Hmm.
and then once you start you're on set and your set designers have done what they're paid to do, and it kind of helps you to kind of uh, translate what you're trying to do into that period piece. I just went to go see the Odyssey, which I imagine must have been an interesting thing to kind of have to do as a period piece.
Yeah.
Um, I, do do you think that um, like how do you I don't even know how to put this. Do you think that doing a period, like, is there a difference between doing a period piece on a stage versus on a on a film production, like, because it's, I guess it also depends on the thing,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
that's a really good question. I just think that there's I feel like there's material that is good for the camera and then
right.
better for the stage. And I sometimes I'll read things and instantly be able to envision it as either a short film or a feature. Um, and other times I'll read something and I can't see it at all. So I think that yeah, some things are just cinematic and others aren't, and just depends on um what that is.
Yes, some authors are probably not as cinematic as,
Yeah.
yeah, as well. I would assume is I, I'm curious what you'll say for this. um, Amongst the trek, breathe deep, and the retreat, which one do you think Cassandra would go most likely go see?
Okay. Um, I think probably, oh gosh, I don't know. 'Cause I don't know if she's scared of sharks or not. I haven't.
I
Um,
know I am.
yeah, it depends. Maybe, maybe breathe deep.
Hmm.
I don't know. No, yeah, that's a good question. I don't think I have an answer. Yeah. Yeah.
How much do you know your characters? Uh, what's the best piece of advice that someone's ever given you, and who gave it to you?
And just in general,
Yeah, it could be, whether it could be life advice, could be acting advice, whatever you think is the best piece of advice you ever got.
uh,
I don't. I ask this question every time. Everybody says exactly the same thing when I ask them. They're like, "Wow." I'm like,
it's a really good question.
"Yeah, yeah." It's.
Uh,
I've had. I gotta. I should put a book together of all the things that people have given me as answers. It's actually quite interesting.
I think a really well. There's a lot of really good advice that I've received, so it's just hard to choose one thing. But I think one thing that comes to mind, and it's I've just been able to apply it to what I do, is to always like start to actually my stepdad gave me this advice. He told me to always challenge myself with very difficult literature and music, and that my brain would keep up to it. So like it could keep up with it. It would start to I would start to have a lot more interesting conversations and just internal dialogues with myself. And I think that it just applies to what I do in the sense of always going outside of my comfort zone. And just, I think it makes me happier as a person.
Mm.
So, yeah.
I have this theory that music, you can tell a lot about a thing, a person, a situation based on the music. That's
Yeah.
and and I think it's also a great entry point for a fascinating conversation. So
Hmm.
I totally agree with what your stepfather said. I mean, I think when you elevate, like when you continually elevate that piece of your brain,
Hmm.
nothing but good things can come of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, what was it like working alongside, you know, Haley Bennett and Jack Whitehall? Like, I look, I know these people. I've seen them on screen
Yeah.
for like some of these people. Like when you hear their name, and you know they're going to be doing something. You know something good's about to happen.
Yeah.
So I would be like a little like not fanboy, but you know, it would be a little nerve wracking. You know,
Yeah, I was really nervous. Uh, and I remember, yeah, I really, really loved Haley's work, and I just couldn't
mm,
believe that I would be sharing scenes with such an actress. She's just amazing, and she has such an amazing English accent. I just can't believe
yeah.
that, she's American. So yeah, I loved watching her because she would have multiple takes, and they would be really difficult, and just every single time she does something new, she's just so in it. um, so yeah, I couldn't stop watching her. And Jack Whitehall, I love his work. I think he's so funny. And I actually uh I mean, I never told him this because I was just too shy, but uh, I discovered his stand-up. Basically, my grandpa passed away like when I was still back in Russia, still at the theater academy.
Mm,
And I was just, I was obviously going through a rough time, and I could only go to sleep if I laughed enough. So I started to watch a lot of stand-up comedy, and I discovered Jack Whitehall, and I just, it just, all of these different stand-up comedians, they really helped me
mm,
in this time of grief, and he was one of them. So I mean, it's yeah, it's not necessarily something I would like say to someone personally, but I just feel like it was such a like a cool thing that happened. I never in my life would I have thought back then that I would get to work with him. And yeah, it's just kind of funny how these things happen.
yeah.
It's really surreal.
Would you
um
would you ever get up on stage? Would you ever want to try stand up?
no.
That
That's
was
like
too.
one,
She
just
answered that
no.
quick. She's like, nope.
That's also I admire him so much. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
Yeah, it's the hardest thing a person has. It was so when I finally decided I was going to be an actor. I set out. I said, if I get my first role by the time I'm 25, then I will. I know it's for me. I'm going to keep pushing forward. But
Yeah.
if I don't get anything by then I'm just going to give it up and move on with the rest of my life. And so on my, I was, my birthday was just about to come up. It was about 3 or 4 weeks beforehand. And I was like, okay, I got to do something. I got to do something. So I auditioned for Showtime at the Apollo and went on there as a stand-up comedian. I had
Hmm.
never done stand-up comedy in any way, shape, or form, but I went on the toughest stage that there happens to be in these lonely United States. And yeah, I bombed really badly. And if you have time someday, you can check out on Instagram. I the I posted it. It's terrible. It was
The audio,
No,
not it.
no, no. You would be wrong. It was horrible. Like it was so bad that as I walked off the stage, I'll never forget this. I walked off the stage. LL Cool J was backstage, and as I walk off, he goes, "Hey man, it's all good." And I didn't hear him. I just walked out the door, down the steps, up the steps, out the front door, and that was last. I went home, but but I got up on there, and that was really the reason why I did is because I wanted to prove that I had the guts to be able to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
So I just
That's
had to deal with 6 weeks of people on the street stopping me. So
so sorry.
yeah, no, it's okay. Well, I was what, 20? I was 25, and
Yeah.
I'm still talking about this. That's terrible. Um, yeah, so I can understand you not wanting to do stand up. That's kind of why I went to UCB because I've always wanted to do sketch comedy,
Hmm.
and I love sketch comedy is like my favorite. But I can understand you know stand up comedy. I never heard. I've heard comedians talk about how therapeutic it is for them to perform.
Hmm.
This is the first time I've heard someone actually say it was therapeutic for me to listen to. And I think that's fascinating. That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible what kind of effects laughter can have on people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I was looking, the director for the film, Tina
Ravi.
Garavi.
Yeah.
Um, I'm, to be honest, I was, I was very happy that there was a female director for this,
Yeah.
because no disrespect to the guys, but this is not really their material. And I also thought this movie came out kind of at the perfect time because because it's a pretty tense time as a woman these days. And to kind of do this story, not as a heavy, dramatic, you know, thing, but as something that can unite the audience under this guise of comedy and storytelling and you know history
Hmm.
because this I think this the time period for this is just around the suffragette um, uh, protests, and so this movie kind of it's actually kind of sneaky important
Yeah.
because it's about a woman who wants to. She's an astronomer, right? She wants. Well, she spends her time trying to avoid romantic love and marriage and that kind of a thing.
Hmm.
But she's trying to get into school, and all the people are against her. It's an underdog story, so there's a lot of layers to this movie.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, the subject is timeless. It's just like someone battling social expectations, and yeah, it was really cool, and to work with Tina was great. I I don't think I've ever met with someone with such a calm demeanor, like a
Hmm.
director. I don't know how. I I don't I can't picture myself directing anything. I would flip out.
I was going to ask you that if you were going to ever go down the directing path.
I mean, who knows? I would maybe I'll actually surprise myself and be able to do that too, but I can't picture myself doing that. I just think it's so stressful. I really admire directors. So yeah, no, working with her was just wonderful.
Hmm.
And uh, yeah, and it's I have spoken to female directors in the past, and they said that you know, it is intimidating as a woman to become a director because, well, it's just basically starting to happen. And you know, I mean, back in Russia, I was talking to some women, and they were like the only ones. There would be like one woman in the course for directing, and you know, of course,
Oh wow.
it yeah, yeah. So it's a really big deal, and it's all really exciting. It's happening.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I think there's value in creating, like having different types of people, you know, as directors, because you you know, you get diverse stories and diverse ways of things being created. I like that. I like diversity. I like
Mm.
different different stories, and you know, so I try to help, you know, a lot of different filmmakers here in the States, you know, make it to where they need to be. And um, women, you know, man, I don't care. Dogs. If a dog wants to direct, hey, go for it, man.
Mm.
As long as it's good.
Yeah.
Um, I so can you tell me a little bit about your upcoming projects like The Trek and Breathe Deep? Um, like when do they are they out yet? Are they coming out? Like
Well, the Trek has been having a long festival run, and it screened at the Raindance Film Festival back in June.
oh
So that's yeah, it's been receiving, you know, really good reviews, and I watched it. It's a very powerful, very beautiful film. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly when that comes out, whether it'll be on a platform, or what platform it's going to be on. So
yeah yep
I don't have that information yet, but yeah. And Retreat is I also don't know when. I think it's going to come out this year.
mm-hmm.
It's at um, the Cannes film market,
Okay.
looking for distribution. So yeah, that's as much as I know about that.
Um, I didn't ask you this question yet, but I told you I was going to ask you. Um, if you had a magic wand and you could choose or like like a project to be on or a character to play, is there anything that you think, or if it's just something that you haven't had a chance yet, like a you know, I always wanted to be. I mean, I always wanted to be in a sci-fi movie. I want to be a bad guy in a sci-fi movie.
Yes, that's who I am in the retreat. I'm a bad guy. So that was
Oh,
such a dream come true.
isn't that amazing?
I
It's
know,
like
right? It's great. Just
it's
why?
like, what does that say about me?
Yeah, yeah.
That must have been yeah, that must have been fun.
Oh, it's just so much fun. I'm like, oh, get to relax. Just
Oh boy.
yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. Like, I want to do voiceover. My three things I want to do. Hopefully, I'm trying to work on now. I want to do voiceover, but I want to do it as a villain.
Mhm.
I want to be a bad guy in a movie,
Okay.
and working on. I'm writing a sci-fi, my first sci-fi movie now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, which I am very excited about because, yeah.
Do you play
Oh,
in it?
you know what? I hadn't thought about writing myself into it. I it just I don't. Yeah, I'm good. I
Okay.
that's what I was going to ask you. Do you watch your stuff? Do you
Um,
do you
when
watch the movies and you know
yeah,
things? You
yeah,
do.
I do. Yeah. It was hard in the beginning. And I feel like the first time I watched something with myself, it's a little like I have this period of adjustment, and then I'll watch it. If I get to watch it the second time, it's a lot easier
Mm,
to see. I think it's just a very interesting way to see parts of yourself you wouldn't otherwise have acknowledged. Um, you know, and sometimes I think that I did something a lot worse than it was actually, um, you know, it's like it's again just going back to the whole editing process. Like I don't know how it's gonna look at the end of the day, and that's like where my trust has to be in the
Yeah.
production that everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be in the right place, and they're not gonna put stuff that isn't gonna make, you know, the story look better. So, um, yeah, I think it's cool to see yourself. You also learn a lot that way.
I don't watch myself. I can't do it. I just can't do
Yeah.
it. It's so, I feel so stupid.
No, I get it. I get it.
But I mean, I'm trying to get better at it. I mean, but so far, like if I play somebody evil, like a bad guy, I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
You can best believe I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. This I have problems. Um, before we go, I'm going to give you a couple of fun, real quick questions. You know, just no big deal.
Hmm.
Morning person or night person?
Night.
Ooh, okay. What's your favorite season?
Spring.
Okay. What's the last song or playlist you listened to?
I can't remember. Like a workout 2026 club mix. I don't know. Something.
Okay. What's your go-to snack?
Dates.
Really?
Yeah, I love them.
Like, are they seasoned or just plain old dates?
Like, you know, I think it was a trend on Instagram. I saw it was a date with butter inside, and then I added chocolate too, and it's so good. It's so
Okay,
good.
I'm going to have to stop this podcast right here. I've never heard of that. I will
Highly recommend.
write that down and try it. And if it doesn't work out, me and you have to have conversations. And the last question, last show you binge watched.
Beef.
Oh, I've not
Mhm.
seen that. Is it good?
I yeah, I really liked it. I really liked the second season.
Hmm.
I felt like that would have been smoother. Yeah,
We need to
yeah.
get you on TV. You
We
need
do.
to need to be on the
Yeah,
series. Yeah, we'll work on that.
yeah. Thank you.
I told you, you know, this show is yeah. Um, I'm so glad you came to the show and um,
Thank you.
where can people follow you on? Can people follow you on Instagram?
Yes, they can. It's just at and then yeah, my last name, Borghesani.
And if you learn any more languages, you know, let me know.
Okay.
You should try Japanese. It is quite hard.
I've heard. Yeah.
It's the I tried during so I've been to Japan a few times.
Wow.
And I was there for like 6 months at one point
Okay.
and started picking up the language. And when I came back here, it started to dissipate. So during COVID, I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing some Duolingo Japanese. And no, that doesn't work. You have to be there.
You have to be there. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
I would love to like learn it enough to have conversations, but
Yeah.
I need to be there. So
I mean, I really do believe it's possible. You
yeah,
just practice every day. Just
yeah.
immersion. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should learn Klingon so that you can be on Star Trek.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, that's what I'm going to
Got
do.
it. That sounds like a plan.
Thanks, Darren. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Jared.
You come back anytime you like.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Please make sure you go see your film. That's what I was gonna say. Is it streaming? Where can people watch it?
Virginia Woolf?
Yeah,
Not yet, no.
not yet. Okay.
Yeah, it was in theaters, and now it's in the UK. Now it's in Germany, and I think it's going to be in the US in the fall. There's no exact date yet, but I think it's around that time.
Okay. Well, that's all right. We're patient. We'll wait, and then we'll watch the hell out of it.
Can't wait for you to see it.
Thank you so much, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe. Instagram, the Daron Jenkins. Till next time, I will go here and learn some more Japanese people. Take care, everyone.
Take care.